Kwabna's song is Make a Way, Be a Quine. Samson Ladi and Yenene correcting me there. Good morning to you, Samson, and the rest of the family. I hope that you're keeping well. But let's bring to you our latest news update. Ghana's COVID-19 case count is still officially 566. And according to the Ghana Health Service, coronavirus website, which is always updating, it indicates that some 67% of the cases have no recent travel history, an indication that they contracted the virus locally, most likely from others who had recently just returned from abroad. 552 of these cases had been categorized as mild, 2 of them moderate to severe cases, with none currently on ventilators. Majority of the confirmed cases, 58%, are male, while the remaining 42% are females. Already do know the government says it will now be able to track where coronavirus patients are at any material moment in real time. This, it says, will be possible with a new app they call the GH COVID19 Tracker. It was launched late Monday. And the Vice President, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, said the government approach to tackling the pandemic will be driven by science and technology, which he says informed the launch of the app.
In Ghana, on dealing with COVID-19, it's been basically on the 3 T's. You are tracing, you are testing, and you are treating. So tracing, testing, and treatment are the essential pillars for our fight against the coronavirus. Ghana is doing what even the most advanced countries such as the US and the UK are not doing, and in fact many other African countries as well. So even though we're a small developing country, in this particular area of contact tracing to deal with the coronavirus epidemic, we are ahead of countries such as the US and the United Kingdom on this. Secondly, we are pursuing a strategy of aggressive testing. And in terms of testing for the coronavirus per capita, Ghana is, on the basis of the available data we have, Ghana is in the top 20 of countries in the world. And on the basis of this data too, in Africa, for example, we are number 1 per capita in terms of testing. In terms of numbers of tests, South Africa leads, we are second, but in terms of testing per capita, that is per our population, we will be leading, we are leading the continent. In Ghana, as at 11th April, we've tested 37,954 people. If you look at Africa as a whole, the data seems to show that total tests on the continent are under 100,000 people. In Ghana, we've tested 37,954 as at 11th of April.
The Minister for Communications, on the other hand, says this also puts Ghana ahead of its peers on the continent in fighting coronavirus.
We need accurate data to know where the virus is and is heading towards, to be able to fight it swiftly and in the most efficient way possible, just as has been done in other affected countries around the world, such as South Korea, Taiwan, Israel, Kenya, China, and to a limited extent in Europe and the US. We're fortunate. By virtue of the Executive Instrument 63, we can use a platform of all the telecoms companies. Frequent contacts by an individual can be traced through various telephone-related data. The purpose of this, for example, is when a person becomes infected, we can backward trace their contacts through telephone records and location history provided by such records. This helps provide a base to discuss contacts with a health professional so that the individual does not forget any people or locations that they may have been to. This can also serve as a guide to determine if somebody needs to be quarantined based on their contacts and locations that they have been to.
On the other hand, a team of soldiers and policemen commenced patrols over Crest beaches just to check loitering. Now, it followed a violation of the lockdown by revelers over the weekend who thronged some of the beaches in Accra. There's more in the following report.
This is how some of the beaches out here in the capital looks like. The sound of the waves is the loudest compared to days when music and noise from an excited crowd was everywhere. Security is tight out here at the Labadi beach. Security personnel say they will ensure that no one comes to the beach, especially because it is a holiday. They say they will patrol these areas throughout the day and at night. One of the workers at the beach spoke to Joy News.
As every morning we're supposed to be coming here so that we can tell people to go out from here, because you know in Ghana some of us we don't take simple instruction. The government has spoke, but yes, still we are doing what we like. So as a workers here, we wish to come in here and telling them not to come inside. As you can see, we have put we have closed all the gates so that no one should come inside. That's why we are here. People are still coming. Every day, people are still coming. So we are here normally, every day. Right now, I will be leaving. Another set will come inside till the night. That's how it is. Even in the night, around 10 to 11, people are coming inside still. Then we tell them not to go inside because the place is locked. We don't want any trouble, because after all, if anything happens inside, it will not go against them, but it will go against the management of the beach.
This is the Choco Beach. You might be wondering why people here are a little aggressive with canes in their hands. They say they will not allow too many people at the beach and are ready to chase away people from other communities who come there to enjoy themselves.
The reason why I hold in my case is that some people destroy the Choco name around the beach side. So today, you don't want anybody to come to the beach, come and bath the sea. So we are holding the case that if you see somebody in the beach bathing the sea, we are going to kill that person. No, we stop everybody in the top there. We don't want everybody to enter the beach. So if you see somebody here, a woman or man, big or not, if you see someone, we are going to kill the person. So we don't want Choco people names destroyed. So our name is destroyed from 3 days today. So we want to do. Some people come from somewhere, come and bath the sea yesterday here. They try to do their stupid things. Then that time, around the 30 minutes, we see the soldiers and police people here starting killing people here.
The Choco people destroy us for here. If they come, they come. They see up, they come. That's why they are holding the key.
The fisherman of Choco, he is the one who gave us the key to beat everybody who came and swim in the sea. 3 years ago, there is a lot of people came to swim. They came from, let's say, Mamprobi and the other place. They come and swim here, but the people of Choco here, they don't swim. If they go to sea camp, they go home. But the people came from far. The people came from far. If you are checking the news, you will say they are all from Choco, but they are not from Choco.
Security personnel have vowed to apply force where necessary to ensure people stay at home.
Now, some drivers at the Abakala Pass N1 stretch, they have also praised security services, especially military and police personnel deployed there for a good job done so far during the lockdown. Now, the security officers armed with canes had been seen seriously during the period, rigorously interrogating drivers on the Mala-Medina stretch on a daily basis. Several vehicles were turned away after investigation showed their excuses were invalid. Now, the drivers had called for the discipline and zeal of the officers to be emulated nationwide during the period of the lockdown.
I can say the security is intact everywhere you are going. The militaries and then soldiers, they asking where you are going as the passengers and then driver to, if you have the sanitizer, they will allow you to go. If you don't have, they will ask you to buy some. It's going well. That's what I can say. It's going well. If they're doing this, continue to do this, we can solve the problem as a Ghanaians this issue.
What they are doing is right. If not done so, Ghanaians will not stay home. The only problem arises when one refuses to turn back, as asked by security authorities. Obedience to the directive makes things simple.
And we have to end the news. But before we go, more than 100 wooden structures which serve as accommodation for slum dwellers at Old Fadama have been demolished to pave way for the dredging of the Korle Lagoon. Now, Joy News is learning that the destruction of the structure or these structures was to ensure the dredging exercise is carried out without any hindrance.
At Old Fadama, where there is a demolition exercise going on. Now, this demolition exercise has affected over 100 wooden structures which serves as accommodation for the slum dwellers here. The reason for the demolition exercise is basically because the AMA is carrying a dredging exercise here at the Korle Lagoon, and we do understand that the demolition exercise to ensure that the dredging exercise goes on without any hindrance. But of course, some of the affected individuals I spoke to are not happy with the situation. Just behind me, you can see that quite a number of them are trying to move their kiosks to a safe place. Well, the major concern for them is that with the decision taken by the AMA, it could affect the fight against COVID-19.
Yes, our building, they scattered them, but we don't know where we are to live again. We can't go to our hometown. We don't have any place to stay. If they give us chance, we can go to our place because no roads for us. They lock the roads. But if they couldn't give us, and they should give us where we have to stay, we don't have any place to stay here.
Now look at what they are coming to do. They say we should give space. We shouldn't sit maybe more than 24 people. But look at what they are coming to do. Now we have to live here and go and combine with our friends, which cannot help, because they said the virus is in the system. Now what they are doing, they are telling us that all what they were saying is lies, because they said we shouldn't combine, we should give distances. So we are appealing to the government that he should come and help us. Like if they can't help us with accommodation, but they should give us a chance to go to our various places.
Abdul Basit, who is a youth leader here, is unhappy with the situation. He questioned why the AMA would use the lockdown period to carry on this exercise.
The leaders fail to tell the youth concerning of this particular issue, and even the time space given to the leaders is breach to this particular exercise, because we wasn't expecting it to be this particular time. And then even if you tell me that you are coming to demolish me, it should be a time and time so that I will arrange myself, move into a different place before you come and demolish it. Now our main concern now is we are all stuck. We don't know where to go. See, the issue at stake now is the pandemic, which is the COVID-19. Everybody is adhering to the protocols by the president. Now, if you do this, if you come and displace me, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to hide. Now, stay at home. I have breached the stay at home law. I have breached the social distance. Now, when you come here, you see thousands of people standing around. They have breached the social distance law.
And we will get some official reaction from the AMA on why they chose to carry out the demolition exercise, plus the dredging of the Korle Lagoon around this time, where Ghanaians are rallying behind government to fight against COVID-19. For Joy News, I am Kosipaka Wilson, reporting from Old Fadama.
Well, that's it. Latest news update. But we have a couple of the newspapers in the studio. We'll take a look at them. Myself and Mamavi. Do stay on. We'll be right back. Well, let's shop.
Yeah.
Mama,
what
good morning to you.
It's a day after the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it's actually at night. It's actually at night or the morning after the COVID-19 app tracker.
Yeah.
Was launched, or tracker app was launched. But initially I went to Play Store, I didn't find it, but
the app.
But they have a site, so when you go to the site, you will get the APK.
But I was a bit confused. What is it that I was confused? Like, is that all? Like, what, you answer the questions that come, and then
you just have to input I think your email and your number initially. And then
so this is subsequently, if you happen to get the disease, then
yes, it's also to help you to also make inputs. For example, if you're not feeling well, you seem to be having a feeling of the symptoms.
So they'll be tracking how.
Then they'll get to know. Look, it looks like we're getting some potential signs, especially when these data that is inputted through the app is aggregated. So if let's say it's put on a map, like the way sometimes we do for the COVID map, you get to have colored highlights, knowing that there are a number of people who have inputted through this app who are experiencing either fever, headache, etc.
I'm still trying to appreciate what you're saying. You're speaking, all right?
Yes. So we have the app.
I'm not sure if I get you, because
so just listen.
We know the symptoms, like it's been shared a lot of times.
When you are feeling it, as
I can understand the English you're speaking.
Good. So then you go to the app, then you input headache, this, that. Already you have given your name, your number, your email. So it's easy for them to know this is the person saying that it looks like I'm having a feeling of headache, consistent cough, etc.
And then?
And then they'll zoom into you.
Oh.
Because, you know, the education is that you don't have to be trooping to the hospitals very often.
Okay.
All right. So when you do this, then they are also in a better position.
I hope you're right, though.
Well, that's how I know. That's how I know the app trackers usually work.
No. We're talking about this tracker.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't be wrong.
Okay.
I can't be wrong.
All right.
So it's just not for you to be having it on your phone and be watching it. So let's say at your place, Kuntunse, all you need to do, let's say if you were not coming to work and you'd been
and I was feeling sick or showing any of the symptoms, I just
and
go
rapidly
to the app
you would deteriorate
and
when you are from the asymptomatic level into the main transmission.
And so I just lock myself in and share what I'm feeling on the app.
All that you're feeling, and then if you have more people within a certain demographic or population within a certain region, if they have to interface that onto a screen, they'll get to find that maybe a number of people have inputted this type of information. Don't make it difficult.
No, you are trying to simplify it, but now you're confusing me.
No, I'm not confusing you. So you, somebody else, etc.
Okay.
And then you have aggregated information.
This is what I feel like we should do this morning as part of this.
Okay.
Do you all understand the app that was launched yesterday? Do you understand it? Let us know. Send us messages.
Do you have some preconceived question you want?
I don't. I mean, I have a very open mind.
Question.
A very open mind to this. Honestly, yesterday I went to the app store. I couldn't find it. But as I was watching a bit of Shatawale's performance, that's the only one I could
Then
catch.
you remember that they are launching the app.
So they advertised it. They advertised the website where you should go. So that's why I went to, and then I saw, oh, you can't get it on the Play Store, but you could get it using, you know, the www.Ghana COVID-19 Tracker. I hope I'm not wrong what they gave. But except that when I went through it, I still really didn't get it because, you know. So that's why I'm so very open mind. I just want to know if you understand what happened yesterday and if you've downloaded the app, because that's the message, isn't it? I just didn't understand the whole music and everything else. And somebody called me and said, but the music didn't connect to COVID. Like, you know, it wasn't like artists were coming to speak in their local dialects and telling people about the disease or something like that. Like, they're just performing like normal performance. Like, what's this whole thing about? But apparently we've done better than the US and Europe, so who am I? Let's just go to the newspapers, shall we? Roland Walker?
All right, so we have to do the newspapers. I have the Business and Financial Times. Mamavi has the bulk of the COVID newspapers.
No, we have to share. So you do.
No.
I'll do the Daily Graphic and the
please, can you start, Mamavi, please
I don't even want your COVID, so don't come to me. So let's start with the Daily Graphic newspaper front page. Okay, apologies. I didn't mean that. I mean, I don't mean that you have COVID. Yeah. All right. So the front page of the Daily Graphic
newspaper. I take it that you mean that I have it.
Front page of the Daily Graphic, that's what's on your screen. Movement restriction extension. Police intensify surveillance. And yesterday, gosh, listen, if you're not exempted, you have no business, anything to do in town, and you think you're just bored, you want to drive around, or you want to make funny excuses, or you want to pretend you're doing market when really you can do market very close in your community. Don't even think about it, because you are bringing traffic in town when we're not supposed to be experiencing any traffic at all. And they've tightened it up. You go through about 3 checks. I think when we started, Roland, I mentioned to you, I didn't see no checkpoints on my stretch. Now I have about 3. Fantastic. And they will scrutinize you. You have to turn around. Even this dawn, they were turning people around because their excuses didn't make sense to the officers.
I think that the heads of the security forces on the COVID committee, they listen to you a lot.
No,
because
it's not me.
Oh, I thought you said you've been complaining. I said, what, on my stretch? Yeah, so now they've put
No, I mean, I wasn't complaining. We were just sharing experiences because
okay.
Yeah. So when I hear somebody says, "Oh, they have roadblocks on their road," I was just also sharing and saying, "Oh, but I don't see any roadblocks on my road." But yesterday at Pokwasi, oh my God, I was tired of it. I mean, I stayed in the traffic for more than 30 minutes, and I was wondering, has it got to do with the construction? I was really thinking very hard until I got very close and I realized, no, it has nothing to do with the construction. Construction was going on all right.
They just tightened up the grips.
Wasn't causing traffic, but the police and the military on both sides of the road, I mean, they were just wild. And I realized they were filming what they were doing as well. And they wouldn't take any excuse. Like if you don't have a valid ID or if you don't give them a reasonable reason, they would just signal you to 10, just 10. I mean, they don't just care.
I think that's the way to go. If all of us would monitor, if you're on the road, especially those who drive, just look at people who walk around, or let's say if you're on the pavement and you question yourself, you find that they have no business walking on the road.
Yeah. And I think shame on those who they know they have nothing to do in town, but they just want to try the officers on the road. Shame on you if you're one of them. And listen, I don't know, but in the afternoon, like around 1 p.m. when I was going home, and the sun was so hot, and I saw the police and the military still standing on the road and doing the checks, I was thinking, listen, Ghanaians, let's make it easier for these guys. Like, it's too much work. On the sun. But let's run you through the rest of the headlines. Free water directive to cost almost 300 million Ghana cedis. COVID-19 disrupts Easter, keeps Christians indoors. Yes. UG quickens vaccine prospects is also another headline on the front page. We will touch on that a bit after the general review and the center spread. Zoomline disinfects legal institutions. Ghana Chamber of Mines supports COVID-19 fight with 11.5 million Ghana cedis. And barely 3 weeks after producing its own brand of sanitizer, the Kumasi Technical University has again manufactured an industrial-sized foot-operated hand-washing machine. On the back page, the president of the Association of Women in the Media has advised market women to heed the advice to practice social distancing and good hygiene in the market to curtail the spread of COVID-19. IPMC donates to Nima residents. To the New Crusade and Guide newspaper now, front page, disaster looms. Residents defy social distancing protocol to grab food. One of the agencies we know sharing food is the National Disaster Management Organization. Oh, they've got an oversight responsibility. We'll engage them today on the show. Don't talk to media. Ghana Health Service warns staff. Will our world remain the same? That's a question on coronavirus. Absolutely not. Trouble looms at Talensi. Shanji Ghana Limited at it again. But residents plot fire and bridgestone resistance. That's mining. This has to do with mining. Details of that story in the paper today. All right, Roland, we'll do the business papers.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about business, a lot of what has happened or is happening is going to impact the world of business. And you ask the question, will our world remain the same? No.
Absolutely
At least
not.
I know that now I have good excuse not to be present in church on Sunday. by rather streaming the service live.
You know, this is the second time you've said this.
No, I haven't finished.
Okay, whatever.
And the second one, businesses now know that people can work from various remote places in real time and deliver.
How effective is that?
And I don't know. Do you have a business you're monitoring as indicating that it's not effective if you?
No, I think that we have to measure that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because people have KPIs. So
it's
once you have key performance indicators and you have the index there, you're supposed to deliver. If you deliver, you know. I think that's Africa. We like to see people feel.
It's
so
not
that's the problem.
all of our jobs that are like that.
All right.
Yeah. I think
and then thirdly, just like you've been doing throughout the period, you can order foodstuff from Malata to be delivered to your Kumtumsi. And that is how our world will change post-coronavirus.
Okay, so let me correct
and
that.
then Samson, Ladi, and Yanini doesn't need to see his client face to face. Samson, good morning. I've greeted. This is the second time.
You know, that's one of the things. Oh, it's interesting you bring something here because I wanted to ask him how they're managing with the courts and their cases.
Oh, no problem.
I think it's one of the things.
He says they don't have any problem.
Because I was trying to monitor what the changes they're making in the U.S. because you know some of the judges are really old, and around this time, very old people is not advisable that we put them out there because most of them have underlying conditions. That's not good if you expose yourself to this disease, this coronavirus. So I wanted to ask how, because they're doing live streams and things like that, and you know our court systems, you can't live stream. I mean, you can't even go with a camera.
You mean in the U.S.?
In the U.S.
You can't live stream?
No. I'm saying that that's some of the alternatives, like the different arrangements that they are making.
I think that could be a good subject we can discuss tomorrow.
Yes,
asking him how we can use this period to improve. Charlie, you are brain you. Hey, you get brain.
I want to know if they are actually dealing with some of the cases.
Maybe in their respective chambers they'll do that, but I'm not sure that the judicial system in Ghana has
It wasn't
adopted
completely shut though. It wasn't
no. In
shut.
terms of using these alternative means by which they can undertake the adjudication of cases.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the Business and Financial Times. This one is good for me. I'm enjoying electricity at a rebate price, but the Business and Financial Times, based on its discussion, just like we've also done here on the show, speaking to Ben Boachi of ASEP and other well-known experts on energy, that these rebates or waivers we're getting, subsidies as announced by the president, it's not going to come free. It's well captured on the front page of the Business and Financial Times, which continues its Chronomics stories. It says electricity bills waiver spells doom for debt-ridden power sector. Government set to absorb 1 billion Ghana cedis monthly. We're going to do that for 3 months. That is 3 billion Ghana cedis. IPP's owed $1.5 billion already. An expert described move as poorly thought. COVID-19, Kufuado.
So we are saying government didn't know what they were doing, or they didn't think this through. I don't want to believe that.
I think government thought through.
Yeah.
But the experts also have an opinion.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
This is expert opinion. And you know that governments around the world, they take decisions that is at variance to what...
Yeah, but government is also surrounded by key advisors and people who are also experts. Exactly. I don't want to think about the negative side. I want to believe they know what they're doing, and that's why they decided to absorb this.
Definitely,
yeah.
Definitely. And also because you're a consumer, you're enjoying it, so you
yeah, I want to think as a consumer.
I know.
President decided to take up the cost, so let him think about that side.
If you were working in an energy company,
I'm not working in an energy company.
COVID-19, Kufuado eases burden on businesses, households, free power for the poor, halves electricity bills for commercial and private residents, like Roland.
But here's the thing, though, it's just two of the cities, Greater Accra, Kumasi, that are under lockdown, correct? But we all get to enjoy this package as a country.
So if you look at the economics of it, the wider trade and commerce and the activities that take place
these
within
two sectors.
they all tend to influence the general business environment outside these boundaries. And so it means that because Accra Kumasi is under lockdown, it's definitely going to affect the farmer who ideally would have transported or have had somebody from Agbogboshi to come and transport often, because the demand is also low in these 2 or 3 cities we're talking about, Tema also inclusive. So it's got a lot to affect the rest of the country. PURC also maintains utility tariff for Q2 amid reduction claims. But the story has captured the imagination of many this morning. Is about government decision to take up 50% of electricity bills for residential, commercial, industrial users and free this for the poor. But according to ASAP, we spoke to them as well. They said this is going to cost 1 billion Ghana cedis each month for 3 months, 3 billion Ghana cedis. It means already there's an outlying debt that is there to all these producers and gas suppliers, $1.5 billion. Just do the conversion to cedis, you get to know. And he says why it will benefit the rich more. He said even as government opted to offer this lifeline to consumers or the poor, Mr. Boachi believes that the decision favors the rich rather than the poor. To him, if government pays about 18.5 Ghana cedis for each lifeline consumer, those who fall within that bracket per month, an affluent resident of East Legon in Accra, for example, who will consume 5,000 Ghana cedis, will now enjoy a waiver of some 2,500 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
And somebody who is consuming...
I appreciate that analysis.
So that's 2,000. But the thing is, when you have more money, then and you have these cards, then you have more money to...
Okay, but this is what I'm also thinking, that person who we put in that category as rich is also suffering as a result. So if that person has got business, it will also, you know, come under
the margin
kind of, because of the difficulty. So the point is that we're all facing the same challenge. You may have more money than myself, but we're all going through the same thing. Okay. You get what I mean?
Yes, the margin of loss for somebody who is a high category earner is higher, but the margin of hunger is bigger for the one who is poor.
It comes back to the whole free senior high school
and all that debate.
Arguments again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all about subsidies and free things. You know how they affect the rich and the poor, and ultimately,
but it cannot be perfect. I think that's what I want to say.
Yeah, we can't have. That's equilibrium. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let me do the Economic Times. It has on the front page: government borrows 17.9 billion Ghana cedis from local markets for second quarter. Gas retailers and consumers, they also oppose new MPA cylinder recovery levy and Ghana to benefit from $10 billion AFDB COVID-19 response facility. A number of countries that are going to enjoy that. Okay, on the back page of the Economic Times, new mobile stroke. Let me tell you why it looks like the Economic Times is confused, just like Mama V is. So they decided, you know, the editor was not too sure, so he decided to add computer app. New mobile stroke computer app to trace coronavirus card.
But listen, that's...
Okay, so even though technically you may not be wrong, it says new mobile, and you know, the app just means application. So you... Charlie, let me leave all my problems here. Mama V, I'm sure you have some sites you want us to take a look at.
Yes, I want us to do the BBC. Well, there are plenty of stories.
Okay, so let's
Nigeria has also extended. Yesterday, they also extended the lockdown because they did an initial 14 days. And in Lagos and Abuja, they've added 14 more days to it. So the cities are still locked down.
They added 14?
14, yes. Okay. So 14 plus 14 now. We will do plenty of stories on the BBC. There's also the thing about France, which has also extended the lockdown. However, in Spain, we're seeing that they're trying to ease. They're trying something. I've heard them say If they do and it doesn't work, then they will just move back again. So we will see details of those stories.
Okay, so let's go to my online quickly. Just give you how the homepage or the interface looks like. And the topmost story, IMF approves 1 billion Ghana cedis for Ghana to do with coronavirus economic impact. And you just scroll up, talk me up with the President of the National House of Chiefs, the Agbogbomofia of the Asogli state, regrets clash between police and Ga traditionalists over coronavirus ritual. And we don't know that the traditional priests, etc. of the Ga state, they decided to sack coronavirus from the spiritual world. It was a spiritual world that the physical human beings just couldn't understand. So there was a confrontation. Allied health professionals volunteering for COVID-19 contact tracing withdrawal services. What do countries with the best coronavirus responses have in common? Women leaders. I was thinking I would see Ghana. I didn't see because the vice president said we are not the topmost, so we should have been seeing maybe the president's wife.
I thought it was specific to the app.
Ah, it was the app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roland, we don't have a lot of time. Let's do the BBC before we go.
Actually, we don't.
We'll go. Yeah, we don't.
So Mamavi will do the BBC for us.
All right, so here we go. Burundi suspends football over coronavirus. One of two countries in the world, right? That they were still actively playing football.
Did they suspend
Finally,
because they were left.
Can we just go down a bit?
Okay. They finished with it.
So the Football Federation has suspended local matches 2 weeks after the country confirmed its first case of coronavirus. Let's leave that to Benedict. I'm sure he'll build up on this story. Sudan to impose full lockdown in Khartoum. It's also another story there. South Africa hails success in halting virus spread. A bit of the story so we can appreciate. So South Africa says it is succeeding in fighting the coronavirus pandemic with a nationwide lockdown showing clear signs of containing the disease for now. All right, great. That's good news. Bobby Wine offers to airlift Africans mistreated in China. You know Bobby Wine? That's the Ugandan musician turned MP, who says he's collaborated with a friend, and they have the capability. So if countries will receive them, then they will airlift. Nigeria extends coronavirus lockdown in main cities. That's what I was sharing. All right, stay with us. We've got sports coming up.
But we have to still stay here on the local scene. In Ghana Premier League side, Karela United have appointed Evans Adote as their new coach. Now, the former Mediama AC coach joins the side following the exit of Enos Adepa, and he will be assisted by former New DBAC coach Malam Yaya. Now, let's go live and speak to communications director of the club, Ni Ama Ashon. Bro, thanks so much for joining me this morning here on the show. What went into this appointment? Why Evans Adote?
Okay, Benedict, thank you very much, and then good morning to your listeners. You know, as much as I know that somewhere in March we mutually parted ways with our coach, Enos Adepa.
Exactly.
Since then, management and then the board have been on the market shopping for coaches. But whilst we were doing that, we were also mindful of the focus of the club and what the club stood for. And so we needed to bring in people who now shares the same way with us. And so we all know Coach Evans Adote. We know that he's been a youthful coach before, and so his ability to train young guys and his ability to improve their career is very, very key, and it's one of the things that we look up to in terms of a club. And we also was looking for somebody whose technical acumen was also up above sea level, and so one of the reasons we went to him is that he's also been a technical director with Mediama and currently is the assistant coach of the National Under-20 side. That tells you that, I mean, when it comes to experience, he has enormous experience that would help us as a club. And, you know, he's also traveled. He's done a lot of courses. His understanding of football and player management is very, very high, and it's one of the reasons we also went in for him. And then we also decided to bring in somebody, a former player, and somebody who's traveled, who knows the foreign terrain, who can manage the ego of players because he's been there before and all that. And so we also went in for Malam Yaya. And these are some of the things the club looked at in our quest to bring in a coach. What we also did was that we consulted wide. So a lot of the technical directors and a lot of people who have worked with these guys, we consulted them. And then their names came up top. So we decided to settle on them.
Okay, so you've explained why the club decided to bring in Ivan Sadete as well as Malam Yaya. But away from that, how is the coronavirus, pandemic affecting your club?
Well, it's just like any other club. It's really, really affecting us because what we do is football. What we sell is football. Like, so once we are not going to work, once we are not selling football, for us, I think that it's something that really, really is having a toll on us. But the good thing also is that our players are not idle. Just before we broke camp, what we did was that, first we spoke to them about the protocols and the need for them to take very good care of themselves. Again, the technical team led by Coach Isaac Bahab spoke to them and gave them some drills. What we have also done is that we sent them some videos and then telling us a virtual trainer which trains them every morning, and so we are also monitoring their progress. And we are hoping that by the time football come back to, it's normal, and we would be able to, go back to our past glories and then play very delightful football.
All right. Thank you so much for your time, Niama Ashon Katai, who is Communications Director of Kerala United. And the story is that they have appointed Evans Adote as their new coach, and Evans Adote will be assisted by former new Edibiasi coach Malam Yaya. We still stay here on the local scene. Well, this time let's fly to Austria. And yesterday we spoke to Samuel Tete, who plays his club football for Lask Linsk in the Austrian Premier League. Well, before the league there was halted, they were leaders of their league. And of course, he's been talking about how he cannot wait for the league to return.
For me especially, I can't wait to play again. But then there's a training program given by the team to every player to train at home. So when I wake, it's just to train alone, or maybe to talk to my family or friends. Yeah.
Well, tell me about the regular routine for you daily now. You've been home for a month. And you're saying that the club has also given a specific training program, physical, I'm sure. What's the daily routine like for you, once you've woken up?
When I wake in the morning, sometimes we train via video call with the team, or like sometimes we train alone. So when I wake, if not with the team via video call, I train alone outside, or I train inside, and then probably eat, watch some movies, and then talk to my friends or play some games. This is what I've been doing every time.
I see. Yeah. Do you have family living with you there in Austria?
No, please. I live alone.
I see. It must get very, very lonely sometimes, even though it's something you're a bit used to.
Yeah, I am used to it, but then this is different. And so, I would say it's a bit lonely.
That's Samuel Tete, who plays his club football for Lask Linsk in Austria, in that interview with Nathan Latte yesterday on Sports Today. Well, we still have to talk about coronavirus and how it's impacting on our sport. And Black Princesses striker Melot Pukwa, who is currently, or before the Women's League was suspended, was the top scorer in the Women's League, is urging Ghanaians to respect the rules, and the rules, she means, stay at home.
Coronavirus is a deadly virus, destroying nations. It has no respect for poor or rich. Join your faith with me that no matter what happens, you're never going to be a victim of coronavirus. Keep motivating others and let's all stay safe. Remember to wash your hands with soap and running water. Use hand sanitizers and let's keep praying. Love you all.
So she loves us all, and she says we should keep washing our hands. Let me add, stay at home.
By now, you're familiar with the case count. We have 566 cases of coronavirus recorded in Ghana. And we'll bring you what the breakdown is. But let's also take you and bring you up to speed with the latest, not only the local, but the global figures we have. After this, we'll speak to a public health consultant and an expert on the subject. And the total confirmed cases, 566, also indicating to you where they have been recorded regionally. We'll do that. And if you look at the regional breakdown, we do have for the Upper West region a case of 7, East 4, and particularly for the Upper East region. The first initial case and its contacts were the ones that resulted in the 3 others, making it 4. Northeast and Northing, 1 and 10 respectively. And public health officials have been able to itemize or intimate reasons why we have increasing cases in Greater Accra, which so far is pegged at some 452, but followed closely by Ashanti, 49, the eastern region, and 32, the bulk of them coming from those workers of AFCONS, the construction of the rail company working on rail lines, and its construction subsequently within the Lower Manya area, even though at Fantiakwa a case has been recorded. Central region still has 1, but it speaks to the general situation of the breakdowns we have. We'll take you to the eastern part of our country and also get to know what's the current state of cases of coronavirus. Western region having 1, but the Volta region, of course, which is sandwiched between Accra and the eastern region, also experiencing 9 cases. Well, and that's the Ghana situation, but generally, you go to the world and we have 1.9 million. We're counting, inching closer to the 2 million mark as a globe. And it's North America where we have the bulk of the cases, some 582,000 cases. And the New York area is where the United States government, including mayors and county heads, trying to put heads together and grappling with the situation. But you still will find a number of cases in Detroit, Chicago, and Louisiana, New Orleans, Atlanta, Georgia, Miami, because you look at the coast there, and you have a lot of, but Washington State also is experiencing the surge in cases as well. But on the worldwide figure, it's Spain that follows the United States closely, and then we have Italy, we have France as well, Germany, and then the United Kingdom. And Italy, Spain has 170,000, Italy has 159,000, France 137,000 and counting, Germany has 130,000, United Kingdom 89,000, 83,000 still for China. And China has not had a surge in cases, even though recently we've had some incremental cases being recorded, and even some negative, or those who had recovered from coronavirus are getting reinfected. What officials, that health experts at the WHO and across the world have not been able to establish, because they're still undertaking studies, is to find out whether if you are infected and you recover, you develop some sort of immunity towards it. Of course, at the level of the international partnership and the discussions published across many medical journals, also, you know, tinkering with the idea about whether herd immunity could also be looked at. So we'll see how it goes. But that's where we transition and come to Ghana, because 566 from that 400 and something mark also shows us that we're just counting the cases as they are. Now, there are bigger questions related to public health that we need to ask. Dr. Paul Osodro is a public health expert and a consultant, also teaches within the profession of allied medical science. And so we'll have him on stream and ask him some critical questions. Because if you take the initial case counts, Kumasi, Obuasi, Accra, Tema, since then, over the last 1 month, we've now moved to almost every region with the exception of a couple, about 5 or so, or 6. Okay, that speaks to the general state of how incrementally we've been able to record the cases. Dr. Paul Osodro is on stream. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Roland. I hope you are keeping safe.
I try my best. I try my best. Now, what has been your observation by way of the trajectory of the cases that have been recorded across the country since we last spoke over the last 1 week?
Okay, so I think during our last interaction, I made mention of a terminology we call the R0 in epidemiology. If you look at this virus, the R0 is quite high. It is estimated between 2 and 4. So what it means is if someone has the infection, during the period that the person is infectious, he or she can transfer 2 to 4 people. And those 2 to 4 people will also transfer to about 2 to 4 people. But even this factor is dependent on social structures and all those things. So in a country like Ghana, where some places are densely populated, you may have a higher R0 than what has been established. So with this virus, all what it takes is to introduce one person into the society. And in a short time, because of its high R0, you start seeing this. So it is actually not strange that we are seeing this.
Okay, and I was listening to the chief of public health for the United Kingdom, and in relation to these knots that he said, he gave an example of the UK just hovering the numbers of 2, and almost like almost like ours, but they have a different population density to us. If you look generally across the communities that we have, why should we be adopting the same scale of measurement, so to speak?
In terms of the R0 or what?
Yes. To get to know, to get to know the rate of infections.
No. We cannot use what is pertaining in other parts of the world. We look at a peculiar situation, and as I said, in Ghana, there are places that are densely populated. Look at Old Fadama, for example. Someone is infected, the R0 there is going to be more than the 2 or 4 we are estimating. It could go as far as 10 because of the nature of interactions we have there. So what is put out there is generally what you expect to see, but depending on your peculiar situation, your R0 could be higher than what are estimated.
We have to talk generally about the cases, and we will let you also have a hand as you contribute significantly to this discussion, to get to know how the testing is going and whether you think that the way we're undertaking it as a country is the best way to go. Because we do know that Noguchi initially was the foremost center for which we had the test being undertaken, and then we went to Kumasi as well. Now we've broadened the scope. Kolebu is part. But we'll also look at key questions about how we need to or not increase testing and whether that could also complement the efforts that we need to undertake. And then what responsibility lies with our citizens to make sure that we're able to do this. Because if you do analysis of some of the cases, especially for the Volta region, where we're told that majority of the cases that were recorded, and they have 9, we have at least people who have traveled apparently from Accra and Tema and even Ashaiman, I read, and they had recorded the cases. Okay, so you're back on stream. Now, if you look at the case count so far, what could be the explanation for the spread to other regions, knowing that Accra seems to be the epicenter for Ghana, over 400 cases, and you look at Volta, Eastern region, and geographically that spread going as high as it should. What could be some of the explanations that you could give?
Accra is a cosmopolitan area. A lot of activities do happen in Accra. You get people traveling all over the country to Accra to transact business. So if they come and then they catch the infection, definitely they are going to take it back home. I think out of the 9 cases that have been recorded in the Volta region, 2 of them actually went from Achiama to that place. And so, I mean, if you have this kind of movement, and we know with the virus, the faster you move, the faster it moves also. So once people are moving from the epicenter, then chances are that they will be carrying the infection from the epicenter to places where ordinarily it wasn't there. So that basically explains this. And that brings me to how we planned the lockdown. I think it was poorly done, and that might have contributed to the spread of this virus in other parts of the country. Okay. Because if you notice, a lot of people moved out of Accra prior to the imposition of the movement, restriction of movement. So if those people were carriers, definitely they are going to introduce the virus into their communities, and then it will begin to spread. So in my opinion, I believe that is part of it. Also, from the northern part of Ghana, we know our borders there are not that secured. You may get people moving in from Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and these places have reported cases. So if we have movement of persons from high-risk areas into your region, definitely it may also account for some of these cases we are reporting in places outside of Accra.
There's a profound comment that I saw from a medical doctor on Facebook, and he was saying the public health strategy and the lockdown should have been in tandem on the ground. And he was thinking perhaps apart from just temperatures, etc., we could have done something better than maybe on ground, having a health person at maybe roadblocks or maybe where we have exit or entry points. For public health strategy, how does that work by way of trying to have a dual action be undertaken, a lockdown, barriers, but public health personnel also stationed there?
With this virus, what is most important is how to take care of the asymptomatic patients. So if you have roadblocks with public health personnel and you have asymptomatic patients moving through, they wouldn't be able to pick them up. But public health goes beyond infection control. Public health is broad. There is an aspect we call health promotion, which look at policies which affect the income, food security, employment, and all these things. Yes, so lockdown is okay. It limits movement and therefore limits the spread of the infection. But there are other aspects of public health, which in my opinion was not looked at, or the lockdown was not planned comprehensively around public health. We're only interested in epidemiology, which was the infection control. But the other aspect of public health was ignored. And that would be part of the reason why we are seeing a breakdown in the restriction of movement, especially in Accra and the greater places. And if we were unable to get around this, I am afraid to say that the lockdown would be an exercise in futility. We may not be able to achieve the intended effect if we don't address some of these public health issues.
And the intended objective or rationale for the lockdown is what in relation to public health?
It is to slow the rate of transmission of the infection.
Okay.
The lockdown will stop the epidemic. It will only slow the rate of transmission so that we can go people out. And because the numbers that our health system will be. But if you impose a lockdown and you fail to identify those who are carrying the virus, what you are technically saying is if you will infect people within your neighborhood, then I don't think it's also fair to expose everybody in the neighborhood to such risk when it was not their doing.
Because speaking to all the talk about the infections and the numbers that have been recorded in Tema and Ashaiman, for example. You take Ashaiman particularly, and majority of the population density has semblance to how Sukura, Nima, Mamobi, and then Newtown is. There's a lockdown, the streets are empty, but people still live in compound houses, they share toilets, they share bathrooms, all right? And even eateries, where they buy food is at a central location, because you don't even have enough space for a kitchen for you to go and cook, etc. They still take trotro within the centers because the police don't patrol enough in the communities. They are at the main centers, etc., on the main roads. Just take me through, how has that contributed to the case count?
It is possible that it might have contributed quite a lot. But ordinarily, for example, a person who lives in Ashaiman, who will probably move to say Ingo or Pram to do business, now is limited to only Ashaiman. So if such a person would have infected, say, 10 people ordinarily in his daily activities, because his movement has been restricted, he may probably infect about 2, 3, or 4 people. But those persons will be within his community or the places that he will travel to within the community. So still, the infections will go on, but we expect that with limited movement, such infected persons wouldn't infect quite a lot of people as compared to if the restrictions are not being imposed. But as I said, the restrictions alone will not extinguish the flame. We need to move in, pick out everybody that's infected, including those that are asymptomatic, so that the community will be free. Another thing is the essential service workers who work in the communities. They move in and out. So with this enhanced contact tracing and testing, if the team goes into the community to do the cleanup, and then someone who is an essential service worker returns to the community, we don't have any means to ensure that that person doesn't return into the community infected. Because if such a person carries an infection outside and enters the community, the exercise that has been conducted is zero. So we have to look at this comprehensive. Other than that, I am afraid to say that we may not be able to fight this pandemic.
In order not to be giving the general or the blanket statement, but also being real, if you look at what we've done so far, what have we done wrong? Well, is it the contact tracing? Is it perhaps our inability to test people enough based on what we have traced? Or we've just not been able to get have a turnaround for enough tests?
The problem is we have limited resources, so we try to make do with what we have. WHO is recommending testing. And the main reason why we have to test is because of the asymptomatic person. Those who will show signs or symptoms with proper education, they will definitely call the hotline, and they wouldn't cause any problem for the community. But those that are asymptomatic, that you can only identify test. If you don't test, how do you pick them up? We also don't have enough capacity as far as the testing laboratories are concerned. With this, what we are doing is we do contact tracing. So what happens is if someone is infected, then you have to look around the person and then test those that possibly might have come into contact with him or her. So getting the results on time is very, very important in the fight against this pandemic. I think I heard on your platform, I think yesterday's news also, where someone was saying the person was tested and I think he had the results 6 days later and it was positive. Such contacts are not isolated. They are left in the community until the result comes out. And we know that days before such persons develop symptoms, even if they will, they are still able to pass the infection on persons. So if someone will have to wait for the result for 6 days, by the time the result comes, that person would have infected as well. We will look for those contacts, go through the same procedure, take their samples, leave them in the community, and wait for their results. So it's like we will solve one problem, and then we'll move to another problem. So if we have the capacity, ideally, all contacts should be quarantined, so that if your result comes and you are positive, we would have limited the number of interactions we would have had in order to be able to record the numbers fewer than we would have recorded if you had been left separate. So I think the whole plan has to do that.
Quarantine where? Over 30,000 contact traced. Quarantine where?
Yeah. That is a problem. I think for now they try to let themselves quarantine. But if you are self-quarantined in a single room where you share facilities with 6-7 people, then it's no quarantine. It's no quarantine. But as I said, we have limited resources, so we are unable to do it. But the best practice would have to isolate the contacts until their results are.
Now, there are related issues about exempted workers. But these exempted workers are public health workers, and they are frontline workers. Do you have any information? Because I don't. All the public health people I've spoken to, either they work at OPDs or they are pediatricians or they work at adult emergencies, are not tested. Even though over the last 2 months, they've been looking at patients, whether having symptoms of ordinary flu or COVID-related symptoms, etc., but they are not tested. As a public health person, is that a worry for you?
Definitely, it is a worry, especially when we are talking of inadequate PPEs and all those things. Because if a practitioner is infected, look at the number of patients that are taken care of by a single practitioner in a day. If that practitioner is infected, then it means all the patients that he has attended to are at potential risk. We've been having cases of healthcare professionals going down with infection in the US, the UK, and other places. So Ghana is not immune to that. So I believe those that come into contact on daily basis with patients, at least there should be some kind of measures in place to ensure that they are tested periodically to be sure they are free of it.
The reality of our situation is that once you move out of Accra and Kumasi, or the major centers, or let's say Accra, Kumasi, and Tema, healthcare, the system and its delivery is weaker or porous in structure and in efficacy. How does that pose a danger to trying to have a turnaround time in detecting and ultimately bringing cases to the fore, to the center?
Take it again.
When you move out of Accra, Kumasi, and Tema, healthcare, its delivery becomes not as strong. How does that pose a problem to the whole structure of either it's a contact to be traced, trying to get tests done, and getting to make sure you undertake investigations correctly?
Contact tracing shouldn't be a problem, because it doesn't depend on the healthcare structure. But testing and management of cases is what is a problem. If you looked at the incident that happened in, I think, the central region, we had over 2 months to plan for this, but we waited for a case to rear its head in central region before we are now looking for an isolation center. We are saying that timely results is key in the fight against this pandemic, since we are not quarantining the contacts. So if you have a case in, say, Upper West, for example, a suspected case, the closest they can take is KCCR. That may take hours. KCCR also has a map cases they are working on. So the case from Upper West, join a queue. By the time it's ready, days have elapsed. That person might have contacted people, and then we will be dealing with the higher numbers. For the management, most of these regions don't have isolation centers. If a person tests positive, it's now that they are going to put them in. And the more contact you have with such positive person, the higher the risk of getting the infection. So these places should have been ready. As soon as the test positive, he or she is with the management team is there to take care of it. And then we limit the risk of infection to everyone, rather than waiting for cases to get before we try to look at the
Okay, 2 more questions, then we wrap up. Now, the isolation centers that we have, we've seen resistance to using schools and other community centers. One, on the side of the argument of those opposing, do they have a case? And then what could be the implications if these, let's say, the schools and other grounds are used on public health?
Okay. Those opposing have no grounds. I believe the whole thing has to do with education. Public health is a concerted effort and informed choices by members of the community society.
Okay.
We live in a very traditional era where the role of opinion leaders, assembly members, chiefs, and other persons cannot be overemphasized. But it appears all the fights and then the policies we are making is at the central government level. We need to decentralize it as much as possible. education must get to the grassroots in a language that they can understand. I am sure if we have educated them on the risks they pose to people in a community, if, say, a facility there is designated as an isolation center, and they realize how the risks, there wouldn't be this kind of agitation. Ordinarily, politicians haven't really done a lot of good to the population. It has been lies. So even if they are saying it, the population will think they are lying. So this is the time they have to engage the chiefs, the assembly members, opinion leaders who are in touch with the people, for them to disseminate such information. I believe they will believe them better than we leaving it to the politicians to do some of these things. And to end it, the virus, for now, it is not airborne. You have to be in close contact with the infected person to be able to catch. So if they are put in a school dormitory, for example, where the school is fenced, it poses no risk to anybody even living outside of the school, not to talk of people in the community 200 meters, 1 kilometer away. And the virus also doesn't survive on surfaces forever. So assuming without even disinfection, these people are removed from the facility, and then they are reopened, say, a month later. By the time people get to the facility, these viruses would have been dead. But ideally, after they've been removed, I believe disinfection must take place. Once the place is disinfected, it is very safe for the public to use.
Okay. Now, speak to the ration or the food sharing that is ongoing, where we have millions of crowd at these distribution centers of food in communities, etc. What's the effect to public health? And then the national disinfection that we've undertaken, is it a good thing? So first, you speak to the effects of people milling around the distribution of food.
We know the virus spread faster in densely populated areas. So once they are crowded, the chances of an infected person spreading the disease to many is very high. That is why we've been practicing physical distancing. So if the person will practice physical distance at home, but when he comes out to collect food, he will not observe that, then it's as good as not imposing any restriction on the person at all. So those sharing the food, I think, must devise strategies of making sure this kind of overcrowding is halted as early as possible. Other than that, we are in for real disaster.
All right.
I think you asked another question also.
Yes, I asked another question about if you look at the state of the lockdown, would you want us to extend it, or perhaps based on your own observation for public health?
What was our objective in going into the lockdown? There must be a measurable quantity of the sort that when we attain, we know we have been successful. We don't know the number of persons infected in the community. So at what point in time will we be able to say we've been able to halt that? That may only happen if we begin to see a reduction in the number of cases we are reporting. As of now, I don't think we have reached our peak yet. We have to hit the peak before we will start falling reduced figures. So until we hit our peak and begin to reverse the trend, we will not be able to say for sure that we need to put down. WHO is warning against countries lifting this lockdown very early, because all what you need is one or two asymptomatic persons in the community, and you spark another wave of epidemic. So in my personal opinion, until we get a vaccine, I am afraid to say this fight will be a very difficult one. All what we can do now is try to minimize the number of infections so that our health system can cope with them. But to say we will be able to completely wipe out this virus without a vaccine, it may be difficult. Physical distancing would have been the cure to this pandemic, because if everybody is isolated for 14 days maximum, those who have the virus and wouldn't even show signs or symptoms will recover on their own, and therefore will not pose any threat to the society. Those who have and will show symptoms will definitely report and will pick them out. By looking at our current world and the nature of interaction, physical distancing or isolation cannot be done. So we may have to live with it like the way we are living with malaria, cholera, and all those things, and then try to strengthen our health system, minimize movement so that we wouldn't get enough, so that the systems can live. Until we get a vaccine, this may be the best approach.
Well, thank you for a great discussion and some great education there. Dr. Paul Usodro is a public health consultant and an expert. He is analyzing the situation based on his own data he has, information he's been looking at, and that observation as an expert. And when you look at it from that eye of a professional and somebody who has the technical knowledge, it helps in deepening the education, and that is what we do right here on the AM show. And please make sure that you keep the interaction ongoing. What's your own view on this? Facebook Joy News on TV is there. A Twitter handle is at hand. We have at Joy News on TV. Watch us live, My Joy Online TV on YouTube. Get the latest updates, myjoyonline.com, on coronavirus and how we're covering this in real time. And talking about good coverage, we're on the ground, because we do know we're in the third week of a deployment of military and police force, and we also do know that it's all to make sure that all of our citizens stay home. Kwesi Parker Wilson is joining us live from just across the streets, literally. We're talking about the Ring Road, one of the checkpoints on the Ring Road, and we want to go back to him. Kwesi Parker Wilson, good morning. What have you been finding out so far? I see that you're in a beehive of traffic, if I can use that phrase.
Right, so Roland, I am here at Ring Road, and just behind me are vehicles coming from the Circle Interchange towards either Osu or 37, depending on where they are going to. So we are just close to the Nima police station, and I can report, and as you can see, heavy vehicular traffic here at the Ring Road, where quite a number of the vehicles on the road are private vehicles, not commercial vehicles. I see less commercial vehicles on the road. A lot of the private vehicles are still going on, and the police are asking very interesting questions. They are interrogating the individuals who are using the road. I see a taxi driver here and a man in the vehicle. Let me just engage him briefly. Boss, good morning.
Morning, boss.
Boss, where are you going to?
I go in Medina.
Where?
Medina.
Medina. What are you going to do in Medina?
I go buy food.
You go buy what?
Chicken.
You go buy chicken? For Medina?
I buy it, bought it already. I dey sell.
You dey sell? So you go back?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, so this man here is going to Medina, and he said that he bought some fowl and got the he sells. So that is what he is going to do. But I will be speaking to the officials who are doing the checks and interrogating the the drivers who are using the road. And I have seen quite a number of individuals who are just loitering about and have been asked to return. So we will be speaking to some of the police officer okay, so this vehicle has just been asked to turn around. This vehicle has just been asked to move away, has just been turned around. So perhaps the explanation wasn't quite convincing, and that is why the police has asked him to go back to wherever he is coming from. And this is the officer in charge, ensuring that movement is restricted within Nima or perhaps the Ring Road. And I want to have a quick word with him. Sir, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, master.
I want to find out from you, how challenging has this been?
Oh, so far, it has been okay. Since we started work now, those who are not giving us proper explanation has been turning down, so it's normal.
But I see you ask a lot of the taxis or the commercial vehicles to go back. Why? What I mean?
The explanation is not tangible because they say those who are not giving proper explanation, we should turn them down. That's why I have been turning them down.
So how about the empty taxi drivers?
We also turn them down.
They say they are working. Why do you turn them down?
We don't need any explanation from them. So far as there's no passenger, they should go back from where they are coming from. Yeah.
I see. But have you made some arrests so far?
No, so far we just return them. Okay. We just return them.
I see. Yes. But what would you say from your own experience that there's been lesser vehicles on the road, or day in day out there's been increasing vehicles?
Today, because I don't know, because today is working day, it's plenty. The vehicles are plenty. It's plenty.
And the reasons given are they
it's not tangible. It's not tangible. That's why I'm turning them down. That's why I'm turning them back. Yeah.
I see. Okay, thank you. So that is the officer in charge here, who has been asking the vehicles to go back because the reasons being given are not tangible enough. Let's pick an interaction with these individuals. Okay, so there's a taxi coming.
Where are you from and where are you going? If you don't have staff ID, you just come down.
If I left my ID, I know who I'm going to police hospital.
Let me see, are you a staff over there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, carry on.
Okay, so these are essential workers, and that is why they've been asked to move. Okay, so I see a medical officer there going. And so the question is, where are you going to? What are you going to do there? If it is quite convincing, the police will ask you to go. But if it's not convincing, of course, you won't be allowed to go. And they are asking. Okay, so let's get this interaction.
Okay. Okay, carry on. All right.
So one of the key things that they are looking out for is your staff ID. So if you are working and you don't have a staff ID, the police definitely will ask you to go back. They'll politely turn you away. But if not, they will just let you go. Okay, so that's the situation here at Ring Road. It's been very challenging for the police, as they say, that it's been very difficult for them. Okay, so this.
Okay.
Very, very difficult for them because the vehicles on the road keep increasing, which they think is quite problematic. They say today is a working day, and that's why we are seeing a lot of vehicles on the road. So it's an unfortunate situation, according to the police. Very, very unfortunate situation.
MTN has done what? No. Turn him. Turn this car.
All right, so unfortunately, this man has been asked to get back. He said he was going to do something with the telecommunications, but his explanation is not tangible and has been asked to go back. Madam, me watch your work.
I told me go 37.
Oh, go 37. Okay, no.
I go home, Mama Hospital.
Okay, go Mama Hospital. Do you show some more? Okay, so she says that she's going to visit the mom who is at the hospital.
If you don't have it, I'll tell you. Because the reason you are
my office is just here.
No.
Just behind
Show me your staff ID.
I'm working with back.
No. Mother, return him.
right, so this man failed to provide a staff ID. He's been asked to go back.
Okay, let me see a staff ID. Okay, carry on.
All right, so Roland, that is the situation here at Ring Road. Quite a number of the vehicles have been asked to go back, and of course, as you can see, they are all moving back. They've been turned away because they failed to either show an ID card or the reasons given as to why they are on the road wasn't really convincing for the police, and that is why they've been asked to turn back. So ahead of, right from the second interchange, quite a number of vehicles approaching Nima or Osu or even perhaps 37, and that is the situation here. Day 15 of the lockdown. This is what we can report right from the Ring Road, where we see a number of vehicles still plying at the road in spite of the lockdown.
Well, Kwesi Parker-Wilson there, giving to us the latest update as to traffic, whether it's congested or not. You can find that traffic is congested because the police are on hand to get to know who really is in town, whether there's any justification why we need to have many of these vehicles in town. He had some interaction as well, and it was at the Ring Road, just right here leading to Kwame Nkrumah, or if you're going to Dankwa or Kanda as it is, but the bulk of the vehicles are private, and the police needed to be convinced why you had to be on the road. But we also do know that a GH COVID19 Tracker app has been launched, and that application, we're told, that is just for you to get to assess yourself, whether you have the symptoms or not, or what you feel, and you report it based on inputting data through this app. And then when they have the collection of the aggregated database, they'll sift through, and then you can easily be traced and contacted. So that's a good thing. We'll take a break. When we come back, myself and Mama Viuswabwaji will take you through this app, the GH COVID-19 Tracker. And you have to go through a site because it's not been listed on iOS as well as Play Store yet. And there are general terms and conditions that individually we all need to go through. We'll do that. We'll input our email and take you through practically what you need to know by way of the app. And then you get to have first-hand information as to how you need to do this. Make sure you stick and stay. All these practical lessons coming up next.
Thanks for still staying with us. And that national science math quiz promo just makes me, miss the national science and math quiz. But this will all be over soon, and we'll get back on track to our normal life so we can enjoy the national science and math quiz. It is not finished yet. For now, it is. Yeah. All right. So welcome to this segment where, of course, following the launch of that app yesterday, with all the virtual concert, we want to see how we can help you if you've not downloaded it. We can go through the process together as a team, so we can all help ourselves. Roland seemed to understand this way better than I do, so so I'm going with a very open mind again. And the website, because if you go to the Play Store, the App Store, you won't find it there, but they've given a website which is ghcovid19.com, ghcovid19.com. So Roland and myself will be doing the inputs with how we feel. So first of all, if you go to the site, as you can see, you have to download, and you have to accept terms and conditions so you can download. So here we go with the process of downloading, and then we can try and figure everything out. Do I still have to click download?
No.
I guess.
So it's downloading?
It's downloading. That will take a while. But it's still, this is day 16 of the lockdown in Accra and Kumasi and Kaswa as well. Our colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, is making some rounds. He's been to the Ring Road, which we brought to you to check in terms of the checkpoints and how tighter it has become. You have to be patient with the officers and answer all the questions politely, and you must have a good reason for being out there today. Because otherwise, please stay at home. I wish I was at home, really.
Yeah.
I wish I was just staying at home.
You have to open the file, it's downloaded.
Okay, yeah. So it's downloaded?
Oh, yeah, it's gone up.
All right.
We have to go through the system together.
All right.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry.
Wait, hang on. Where do I have to go next?
Oh, don't worry. Let me come and help you.
Stay distant.
Okay.
Okay, so here it is. I have to go back to, I guess, yes. I have gone back to the, that's it. You have to enter.
Yes. So you enter the mobile number.
Okay.
Is it your number we're entering?
We're going to use our WhatsApp number to do this. So kindly do not call the WhatsApp number. And Derek will call some. My producer have to help me with the number. That's 0. So I'm just
54.
Yep.
0.
Let's go.
10.
Roland, don't mention. Somebody will call. Oh, people can see. 9. Okay, that's it.
Okay.
All right. You have to enter your email. We're going to use Echo's email.
Yeah, Derek.
So we're doing Derek. Yep. Let's see.
@myjoyonline.com. Okay.
Online. Yo, feel free to send him an email.
And click the terms and conditions.
Yep.
The privacy.
All right, so we proceed. So I hope that you're following. Now, if you are successful in doing this, then you find this page about you. So this is about Roland and myself. Please select your answer. And just when I said don't call, like people are calling, you just disrupt what we're doing.
You? Answer the question.
Let's see.
Click it.
Please tell us your gender. We can't say male and female, so I win.
No,
let's do it female.
No, you have to click how old you are first.
Oh, okay. With your
Yes,
so it's between 30 and 39.
Very good.
And I'm female. Please tell us your region. Roland, I have to be selfish. This has to be
Accra.
Okay.
That's where you are.
I was
We're
actually
talking location.
Okay. So this is where you guys know where you come from.
No.
I was going to do Volta.
All those tribal people.
Have you recently traveled abroad? That's a no.
Oh, but when did you go to China?
No, I didn't go to China. I came back ending December.
Okay, so when did you go? Let us know.
Singapore, Malaysia, Dubai. Somewhere else?
Is that one of the epicenters? Well, it's not funny though.
So it's no, because that's not recent.
Do you smoke?
Do you smoke? No.
And there's good reason why they asked this.
So this is about your health.
Yeah, so if you're a smoker, it's one of the underlying conditions which makes you prone.
And then it's asking, do you have any of the following diseases? Lung disease, asthma, heart disease, diabetes, kidney disease, cancer. Is it a yes for you?
No.
You have any? Okay, no. So it's a no for us.
And it's for good reason.
Yeah.
We know
so
that
you have to be honest. I mean, you have
very
to be
honest.
It's for your own good. You have to answer it as honest
as you can.
Yeah. Have you had close contact with someone suspected of having or had COVID-19 infection, such as family members, colleagues, or others?
So far, no.
Okay. That's
we know that Derek read about it, but he's not said.
Okay, here's the trick. If you keep calling me, your number will show on the screen and people will disturb you because your phone number is out there. I think it's in your own interest not to call my WhatsApp number right now. Okay, so this, all right. So the answer is no? All right.
Have you had a close one? Okay.
Yeah. Do you have a fever? Do you have a fever?
As of now, no.
We were checked this morning when we came to work, so it's a no. Do you have cough? New or continuous? It's a no for me?
No for me as well.
All right. Do you have shortness of breath? That's a no for me.
Well.
Do you have loss of taste or smell? Now that's a tricky one. Not smell, but sometimes I'm not sure I taste well what I'm eating. So
you're one of the potential asymptomatic. So let's take a look at. but
so let me answer that by saying yes. Because it's what I feel.
So what they mean by, sometimes when you have malaria and you have sour mouth and all that.
Yeah.
You have sour ability to taste food.
Yeah.
And some can say
exactly.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what
you should answer it.
Yes.
Right?
But it happens when you are sick. So it's not.
Maybe I'm coming down with something. So I put in there yes.
I agree. And this is honest answer.
Exactly.
You have to be honest.
So that's it. So I've just submitted that. And it says, based on the symptoms reported, your current risk of having COVID-19 is low.
Okay.
Please follow the general guidelines for prevention as advised by Ghana Health Service. Wash your hands with soap and water before touching anything, including your eyes, nose, and mouth. Cover your mouth and nose when you cough or sneeze. Disinfect the objects and surfaces you touch. If you are sick, stay at home and avoid crowds and contacts with others. And
Fantastic.
then, but it says next. Thank you for your
So you can share the
for your
app too
help
as well.
So that's it.
Very simple.
Okay, so alternatively, if what answered with underlining sickness or anything of a sort, would we have received something different from what we got, Roland?
Yes. So your ability to input the right or honest answers will give them indications, and they ask of your age, and you have to tell them your age, because across the world we have the populations that have the aged in that demographic being most at risk. The fatalities have been higher by way of the percentage levels. Then you move on, Mama V, they ask you whether you have any underlying habit of smoking. You have to state, because smokers, they are also said to be potentially the demographic that is one of many to be at risk. Then they move on also to ask you about whether you have problems, you have lung disease, kidney, diabetes, all the other things, your heart and all that, because they potentially, because these are chronic ailments or sometimes ailments at a point in time in your life where it puts you at risk, then they can be in a position to categorize you. They also ask you where you are. It's not where you come from. And it's important that you state where you are. If it's Greater Accra, because you have put your email and your phone line, they will contact you easily. That is after they've gone through, and then based on the assessment. And Mama, based on the assessment, if you and I had imputed that we smoke, we had kidney or lung problems.
Shall we just go back on that and do that?
Okay, we can click again. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just say
just
I'm
come
a male.
back.
Let's say I'm a male.
Okay.
No, go up. I'm a male.
So we're changing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is male.
I'm a male.
Or age?
Yeah. Age.
Let's do 40-49.
Yeah.
Okay.
40-49.
All right.
Have I recently traveled? Yes.
Yes. So the country, it gives you the options for the countries. Where should we put?
Dubai. Do we see UAE or something? Or China. Let's put China or UAE.
Okay.
Let's say UAE. China.
It's in China.
Okay, so we have China. And
do you smoke? We say yes?
Yes, I smoke.
Do you have any of the following diseases?
I have diabetes.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So,
have you had any close contact with someone suspected of having?
No.
Okay, so we say no. All right. Do you have a fever?
I don't feel too well.
So that's a yes?
Yes.
Do you have cough?
I started last night.
So new. Do you have shortness of breath?
Cough? Yes, I do have. Do you have new cough?
Do you have shortness of breath?
You have not put the yes there.
I have.
But a cough?
No, it's a yes here. Where are you guys looking?
Yeah, it's the same thing.
But it's yes on my tablet. Yes. So let's go.
Okay.
Do you have shortness of breath?
Okay.
Is it yes or no?
Okay, so what does it say? Oh,
no?
Okay.
Let's say no. Yeah?
Oh.
Okay.
Because we mirrored the screen to it, so that's why. We'll come back and then do it again. Okay. We'll do it in real time. Continue doing it.
So what am I clicking? Do you have cough? Am I doing yes or no?
Yes, if you have cough, yes.
Do you have shortness of breath? I've said no.
No.
Do you have loss of taste or smell? Let me say no. Yeah?
No.
Yeah, but this is you.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
All right. Select your answer. How long have you had these symptoms? Whilst we work on getting
Just
you
yesterday.
this, what we've given you on the screen, you would see our total counts in terms of the cases, and then if you look at the graph there, it will tell you in terms of the distribution as well. So we have 42.0% female, 58.8% male, percentage distribution of COVID-19 cases in Ghana by 6. And this is March to April 2020. Age group of confirmed cases of COVID-19, and that's the those between, Roland can do this better than I can, Roland.
Okay, so it's 35 to 44. The age group that have highest, and this time we're talking males, because the blue bar is for males, the demographic, and the sex is male. So we have males numbering and the highest as far as the number of cases we have, and it's a little over 70. And then for females within the age group of same 35 to 44, it is just closer to 30. Where we do have females, apparently those just less than 15 or up to 15, they have above 60. It's quite instructive. We take a look at this because apart from the over 60 female age group, above 50, it is up to 15-year age group that we have above 60. And this is quite different from if you take a look at the 15 to 24-year males who are inching closer to 60 per the number of 566 we have as a case count for coronavirus we have in Ghana. And so you have males dominating 15 to 25 age group, and then you have 45 to 59 also there, but the main age group that falls within this category of having the highest number of cases within the current case count we have the ages of 35 to 44 of males. All right, very, very instructive. We'll complete our tracker application, and then we'll see how it goes with those who potentially tend to have some of these symptoms and what the response of the app will be. We've been able to input our data with different information, and particularly regarding my age group and the symptoms that I'll feel at variance to how I feel currently. Okay. Symptoms of smoking and all that. Mama, what do you have?
Yes, you indicated you have an underlying disease. What we wanted to do was to give the alternative. So if you input with other responses apart from what I gave or what we gave initially, what else would we find? And this is what we got with all the indications that Roland gave. The smoking, he has diabetes, he's traveled to China in the past 3 weeks, but he has not come into contact with any COVID-19 patients. This is what they gave us, and I'm just going to show it to you. It says high risk assessment. Based on the symptoms reported, your current risk of having COVID-19 is high. Remain calm, quarantine or separate yourself from household, friends, and associates, and contact Ghana Health Service helpline 112 for further advice. But it also says go next, so let's see what we'll find if we click next. That's it. That's the end of it. So this is essentially telling you to call 112, and it's indicating to you that you are a high-risk person, yes, essentially, definitely. Roland.
And I think that for the purposes of the education, we need to deepen this as well. So make sure you get, Mama, what's the website again?
Oh, this is GH COVID-19. Let's see. Did I get it exactly right?
GH COVID-19 Tracker.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, or better so you can just Google. You go to the website, and then because it's not been listed on the stores, that's iOS as well as Play, you have to just go to the site GH COVID-19, and then get to fill the spaces or the questions that will be asked to you. Just answer them, and it's not a very bad thing at all. It actually
it's ghcovid19.com.
Okay, so ghcovid19.com.
Exactly.
But look, that's where we open the phone lines, and we want you to call through. Go to ghcovid19.com and then follow through. If you have followed through just like the way we're doing right here, you will be in a position to give us more information per your personal experiences, and the number is right on your screen. 030 Mama, what's the number?
030221169102. I can close my eyes and give you the number. 030221169102. Give us a call. But we've got questions on the back of this. So if I don't self-quarantine or I don't separate myself, what happens if I don't call 112? How can they track me? Because that's the whole idea, isn't it? We're trying to make contacts with the communications minister who launched this app yesterday. We haven't been successful yet. We've tried her deputy as well. As and when we do get through, we'll put them right on so we can ask them a few questions. Otherwise, there's an alternative. There's a press briefing today. The Information Ministry has called a press briefing. They're going to update us on all coronavirus related issues. So this is something that we're also going to ask if it doesn't come up. But Roland, we have Kojo from Kaswa on the line.
Well, we have Kojo from Kaswa. Kojo?
Yeah, good morning.
Yes. Have you filled the questions or gone through the questions on the app?
Yeah, I tried to do it, but the site didn't open. The link you gave, it couldn't open.
Okay. Oh, as in the GH COVID-19, ghcovid19.com didn't open?
Come on.
Kojo, is it the ghcovid19.com that didn't open?
I saw the site, but when I clicked on it, it was downloaded and it took whole time. It's not downloaded yet.
All right, you just have to keep trying.
Maybe just related data.
I have another question. I was listening to the Dr. Usu, and he seemed to tell us that until we get a vaccine, we are not going to get out of this. And really a bit worried.
Well, that's the facts, actually, Kojo. That's the facts. That's what it is. That's what the World Health Organization even says.
You should be allowed to work. Going to, I mean, what you're doing, the protocols and all the measures are not going to work. Then why do you sit at home? You should as well go to work. I mean, adhere to social distance and maybe use the mask and all that, and pray that we get vaccine.
Okay,
Kojo. So devoid of prayer. Devoid of prayer is to reduce contact, because in the medical field, you either have the medication, the drug for it, or you have the vaccine. The vaccine is what prevents you from getting a certain ailment. And then after you've gotten the ailment, the medication will take you through the treatment. So you have the dosage and then they administer it for you. You understand?
I think he gets you,
but saying that if that is the case, then you should be allowed to go to work, because anytime you go, then it means we maybe.
I get you, Kojo, but I was also thinking, even when the directive says people should stay at home, we saw people go to the beach. We have police and military officers. Do you think that if we're all allowed to work, people would adhere to the directives?
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. So those measures should be in place. But those of us who are working to get have large families to cater for, if we continue to extend this and we cannot be cured from the pandemic, then what are you doing? That's my worry.
I feel you. I get you. Well, thank you for expressing it. We appreciate it. Let's go to Beverly. Beverly's in Banana Inn. Hello, Beverly.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
I want clarification on how those of us using prepaid cards, how do we get access to this free electricity bill?
Okay, good question. Fortunately, that's one of the things that will be addressed at the press briefing. So just keep watching Joy News. It will be carried live here. What has been advertised is that it will start at 9 a.m. They will explain the electricity issues to us.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for also reaching out. Roland, were you going to say something?
Okay, so we spoke to Mr. Ben Boache of ASAP, and he's an experienced hand or professional in the industry. So basically, when you buy, even though you bought 100 Ghana cedis, you buy kilowatts. So you buy credits of electricity. So if it was 10 for 100, I'm not very much familiar with the current rate as it is. If it was 10 for 100, this time it is going to increase for you. Basically, that's what it means. Okay, so you're going to enjoy a 50% rebate. That is if you're a high-end or medium to high-end user. And the benchmark for them, or the benchmark being used for a customer, is how much or worth of electricity you spent or you used the last time. That would be in kilowatts. So if you use 2, it means that
that's March specific.
Yes. Okay. So you used 2 in March, and then in April you used 4. You will get a rebate for 2, and then the other tariffs, the previous tariffs will apply. That's what it means. But if you use 2, then you get your rebate, 50%.
But we're also getting questions. Somebody, for instance, says, and I bought electricity before the lockdown, so I'm not going to buy in April. How do I get to enjoy? There are very basic questions that will all be answered at the press briefing.
That question also popped in my mind when I went to buy credit yesterday.
So Ebenezer is in Sunyai. Ebenezer, let's hear you. Hello, Eben. Okay, I think we lost him. Well, we're sorry about that. Let's read some messages that have come through. This one says, hi, I'm Cornelius from Winchibie. No, is it yet or not in lockdown zone? So people are moving about anyhow, and it's my worry because if we're not, we have not recorded a case here in North Harford region, it's going to be more than those recorded in Kumasi. So you're saying if you were to record, it will be more because of the way people are behaving. But that's the thing. Some people just simply think that this is very far from them because they don't know any person close to them who's had it. Especially those in the other regions, the 6 other regions who haven't recorded any cases at all, you think it's very far from you. But if I were you, I will take the precautions because you don't want to record even 1 case. It's very scary. I think for those of us, particularly in Greater Accra, when the update comes and you see the numbers, then, so don't joke about it. Roland, let's speak to our last caller.
Yeah, and close by is Emmanuel. That's where he's calling from, Koko Memle. Emmanuel, good morning to you. Yeah, please, what's the question on your mind?
Mine has to do with a comment,
okay,
not
please,
a question I do.
Please go ahead, Emmanuel.
I run a mini restaurant in Kokomemre, but I stopped knowing the medium was spread the virus. Now, when I compare what I do here with my colleagues, then I see that there's little we can do. No matter what we put in, I mean the measures we put in to stop the spread. So I was thinking that maybe the government or maybe the municipal assembly may move around, merge some of these restaurants so that proper measures can be put in place. Because when I see what is going on, I'm afraid.
Okay, Emmanuel.
I have a friend, a brother in Konongo. He said they were having one tenant who had serious cough for 2 weeks. Now, they are tenants of about 60 in a compound. They were contacted by the health professionals. Their samples were taken. Now, what is happening is that they are going about their normal duty because they are not under the lockdown. I'm afraid when I heard the doctor say after symptoms or samples are taken, the results come in after 6 days. I'm afraid we are doing a whole lot of, I don't know, we are lacking the logistics, but it's very difficult combating this one. I am seriously afraid when I heard that the results will come in after 6 days. He's into farming. He deals with a whole lot of people. So I'm even short of ways. What are we doing?
Okay.
It's serious, my brother.
Well, thank you for your comment there. But you've closed down your restaurant, haven't you?
Oh, I think we lost him.
All right, so that's where we take a break, and we'll have showbiz next.
Yeah, no, but not before I say good morning to my very dear friend, Godfred Goba, who is still in Japan, by the way. I hope you're keeping safe. I hear that country is beginning to record high numbers as well. Stay safe, Godfred. Stay with us. We've got show business coming up.
But let's take you to Kumasi, where some markets in the Ashanti regional capital are apparently not adhering to the social distancing order as being stipulated by the Ghana Health Service. Now, today we take a look at areas where these social distance rules have not been adhered to. Nanaya Ujima is with us, joining us from the Kumasi Central Market this morning. Nanaya Ujima, what can you tell us?
Yeah, hello, Roland.
Yes, good morning. I can see people moving a lot behind you.
Yes, there are lots of people still in the market, but it's an improved version of the Kumasi Central Market that we used to have. Today, you know, when the pandemic commenced, there was a directive to reduce the number of people who enter the market, the various markets in the Kumasi metropolis. And due to that, now the Kumasi Central Market has instituted a shift system for traders in the market. So we have red, yellow, and green. The traders are now segregated among these colors. So today is actually the turn of the yellow batch, and everybody in this market trading today is part of the group designated yellow, and they have ID cards they hang around their necks to show that they are part of the yellow people or yellow sect of traders who are supposed to trade here in the market. So presently I am at the yam market, and this is the section of the central market designated for the sale of yam alone. Before then I was at the vegetable section of the market. Other various foodstuffs have their own sections designated, and I've been to all these places, and there's one thing that I've realized among the traders themselves. Some of them are ensuring that adhering to the social distancing protocol. So you see the market women themselves seated with distances between them. So I'll say at least they have 1 meter among them. But the only challenge here in the market is when someone come in to buy, the traders are tempted to get closer to them to serve them. And also let me say one thing, the markets here, when you come here, they've ceased all operations of hawkers. So before now there were people who hawk their wares. So say the person sells vegetables, he puts the vegetables in a pan and hawks it and moved from area to area and tries to, you know, attract people to the west. That has been seized. One challenge, major challenge here that's, you know, distracting the social distancing protocol here is the number of kayaye or headquarters in the market. There are so many. So when the kayaye or headquarters in the market join the people who are here to trade, you see the area flooded by people. But so far it's an improved version of the Kumasi Central Market we have now. So we'll go through the market and make some attempt to speak to some of the market women here on how well they are observing the social distancing protocol so far since it was introduced by the market queen and others in the market. So let me talk to this woman and see and listen to her and find out how well she's adhering to the protocol. But before then, let me also tell you that there are some Veronica buckets in the market. I can see at least 5 where I am presently placed at vantage points for both the traders and also the people who troop in to trade to ensure that this is adhered to. So I have the market queen here, and she just started shouting on at one of the traders here, and according to her, the trader is not part of the yellow section and she's not supposed to be here. So she's ensuring that only yellow people or people in the section, the yellow section, are made to trade here in the market. You can see her, and she's still angry because since I came here, she's been talking to some of them to leave the market because they are not supposed to be here. And it's one of the things she's been doing here. And also, here are some of the people who bring in yam from the villages, and they are trying to offload the yams they've brought in so far. So here's the market queen. I'll try to have a little conversation with her and find out how she's ensuring that this social distancing protocol is adhered to. Mame, me watching.
Yeah, nyado.
Mame pacho yenim se market ne edume bi nke ya atum enu nti ye de niam bebre tu etu kwan mu se ebeboa na sa ye ba market ai kabom no eso atimi ati se no so far de na matimi ai de aboa se na so hu sise abai
se ame hu sa ba ne sai se a me tu me josua sei me son papa bia me ba operation ma ye na me free man no paye chesa yade no enya de ekofom ehu pa ntimi de bitu kura sese me bo na ba yire o ha na ekofom ne de wodwom na sa me me atodwom ni kakra.
See, still, send up a say, by any son, you offload by any be. That's up a so bad into yes, I'll offload the
I said, yeah, no, me chess a castle, a bass and a castle in a bayano. Me my castle na kopake, Masasia, my GSO, Inticano, 1 year free Kakranwaba. One of the castle in na, I bet assassin as son. Nadia walk for me na, son. By then, ye many pound major to do. You have a tonic a crack. Say, Council for no, one more Cassashi show mo, so Mokwa, any pan of Cramokwa, better by Rabiano. A car begging our beer back car back come. I'm a cross and say, many a brepa. Chasayadiano, ehu, some shut TV so. I'm a sure and we won't mean your bema, pan and echo for one. And no, I'm super papa. Many a papa to Mutapano, will dear company, so Radintino. All
right, so that's the market queen there for you. And according to her, even though they've put in place some protocols to ensure that the social distancing protocol is observed, there are still challenges. According to her, she's not getting the results that she expected. So she will further revise the protocol, and very soon when the yam they have in the market and those they have packed elsewhere is finished, she will review it and have less people, and even if possible, make the Kumasi mayor close this market or shut it down temporarily to ensure that the social distancing protocol is observed. According to her, it looks like COVID-19 still rages, so there should be some protocols in place to ensure that at least we try to flatten the curve as a country, and therefore she's promising to do her part to ensure that COVID-19's curve in the Ashanti region especially is flattened. Mami, yentoa swindin komo kakra, yehu say other parts, and so bebo ha senior kano social distancing so more problem kakra, especially here kaya yefo omo doso pa ewo market enu nti se nipa na wobeto ade no ebe kaka yefo no ha wo se nipa no ya doso na mfimfimfimfim no bebe enante no aye bebre wo hu sade no
ehunu pa me ba nei me hunu na nyame ni panim ni ye ka lebe members committee for no me kan hu bi me sa de dwa so ano ye de ye adwuma pa ma hema fo pa no aye okuma se dwa mu no omu nim mo ame de bia de beti bia me ti dwa mu me ba me hu ohima bia enu ma oye enkan na majosuo enne me ma me kwa me dwom hema akọ wo so kwa se de nipa ni si wo ho no edi enu nti na me say bayre no egu ebepro eti me sim kwala wo kwa so ni na asem obi akotora ye bia onya bo chese kare be ni bako na mmom no nyame bo na se edwom no mare kwa fom a be de mesem ayo se na da woma mi amema no kwai amena to dwom e kakra maye chese enamfo ne de omunti so doko bi hu abe na be de mtimu se no yare no enko fom ade be ti bia na ekosoro eti se na me akura no obi anya bia yenim eti de be kan ne se amesre opani ne se Minishia make an akufad when you put one who buy. Am I no permanent and one by me and you? Just said no pass, and Mrs. Sum Waffesiano. And I just am Tommy Shen and Akufad with TV sono. Maybe you hope papa, Sebaman will be dear mea. That's a Konyanoko. Or no Casan a somebody would seek Master in fear. Was say Baptist, the Baptist or Lord, meaning Brofoneca. It when you go upon the Conamano. It did the initial can one day running Senate, one in a bedi tray, and an impending for anyone more ye be say. On your go which one, one way will be a mobile formable. And I could ford no be frame a brooch because I was an equal for the young one about so pa. Now brooch President Tibian our channel mama in Nipa.
That's not what you're doing to say.
But I know for work master by him, central markets.
So that was Nanaya Foriwa, who is the queen mother for the traders here at Central Market. She's not just the queen mother for the yam section of the market, but the whole of the Central Market. And according to her, some other queen mothers in this market are not helping her. They should be on their people and ensure that they observe the social distancing protocol that has been put in place here in the market. And she further emphasizes that when the yam and the wares a lot of them have is done, she will ensure that she suggests to the mayor of Kumasi that the people here or the market is closed temporarily to ensure that the people understand the social distancing protocol very well and also adhere to that before she brings them back into the market. So we are still in the Kumasi Central Market, and the Queen Mother wants to talk to me again. I don't know what she has to say. Mom, Pacho, didn't be on episode account.
Some person American want to say, but my boss had to regional minister, many penny because I am Mamiana Meboa. Queenie be anywhere. Adobaphobia and what dear Diania by a report to say a person for us a soldier for how much that woman in our buyer can't say or money a beer gates no more the normal abba a queer phone crabini.
Okay, so according to her, she wanted to add that the police are doing a very good job. They've given the farmers the opportunity to bring their wares into the market. They are not harassed when they leave their villages for this area. So this is what we have for you here at the Kumasi Central Market.
Mother joining us live from the Kumasi Central Market, and we do know that they are observing social distancing. You can see that is what really is taking place, but we still have a lot of people just moving about, and that's a concern for public health experts. And if you want all the daily updates, you can get it right here on the AM show.
Good morning, my name is Kadi and this is Showbiz right here on the AM show. Now to my very first story. A virtual concert was held on Easter Monday in Accra to initiate an app which will help track persons who may have tested positive for COVID-19. There were spectacular performances from some musicians as the event was also to entertain Ghanaians during the lockdown. There's more in the following report.
Scenes from the virtual concert held in Accra Easter Monday by the Ministry of Communication to launch the GH COVID-19 Tracker, an app to help contain the spread of COVID-19 in the country. The concert was also to entertain Ghanaians as they continue to observe the President's directives on restrictions of movement in Greater Accra and Kumasi. Viewers were thrilled by performances from Great Ampon, Fanti Gadam, Dinah Samoa, Ketri Kwame Apia, and Adoji. Not forgetting self-acclaimed dancehall king Shatawale and award-winning high-life artist Kwame Eugene, who gave electrifying performances. Minister of Tourism Barbara Otinjesi reiterated calls to Ghanaians to adhere to directives and stay safe.
Now, away from that, rappers Chris Wado and Medical have promised to feed 500 people after the president announced an extension of the lockdown. Taken to Twitter, Chris Wado said that they were inspired by the fact that many people had not prepared for more than 2-week lockdown. Now, the extension, he explained, may have put a strain on families, hence the need to help feed households. Since the outbreak of coronavirus in Ghana, the two have contributed in any way they can to help contain the virus, sharing hand sanitizers to citizens and hospitals, giving money from cash to cash-strapped funds, and donating foodstuff are some of the things they have done. That's all we have for Showbiz for this morning. My name is Kadi, but there's more Showbiz this afternoon at midday.
All right, Kadi, and there's plenty of show business and a lot of news on myjoyonline.com. This is where we have to say goodbye. Stay with us, though, because we'll bring you that press briefing live, all the updates on the coronavirus. Stay safe wherever you are.